Of the forest floor is filled with animals whose job it is to recycle rainforest vegetation.
You have a whole bunch of insects and arthropods that are responsible for taking that leaf litter, chewing it up and breaking it down. And by doing so, they release all the nutrients back into the soil so the plants can reuse them again.
Anything falling to the forest floor from the canopy above is fair game, and not just for the creepy crawlies. Agoutis are close relatives of guinea pigs. They make a living foraging through the leaf litter, and there's nothing they like more than eating, carrying or storing palm nuts by burying them in the ground. For palm trees, that's good news. It means their seeds are planted where they can grow. But it's of no use to the plants if the agouti then comes back and eats the seeds. So to maximize their chances of reproduction, palm trees have developed a love-hate relationship with agoutis. And, as Ben Hirsch has discovered, this marriage of convenience is not all as beneficial as a nice piece of fruit.
This is an astracarium tree, and you can see it's covered with these very sharp spines, which do not feel very good if they get stuck in your finger.
Spines prevent animals climbing the palm and picking fruit. When it's ready, the tree drops it to the ground to await the agouti burial service. Flawed fruit can attract some unwelcome visitors. To Ben's trained eye, every seed has a secret.
This seed has very small bite marks, and it looks like a spiny rat ate it. While this seed has very large bite marks, because probably an agouti ate it. And this seed's hollow, but there's no big bite marks on it. No mammal ate this. But I can see these tiny little holes in it, which are from a beetle that bored into the seed through this thick shell, and it laid its larvae inside, and these larvae ate the seed from the inside out, and that's why it's hollow.
A hollow seed is a dead seed. And insects are so plentiful in the rainforest, they could easily wipe out an entire crop. Even if a few beetle larvae succumb to the ants on the forest floor. What the tree needs is a way of avoiding the insects altogether, and that's where the agouti come in handy.
From the tree standpoint, it's good that agoutis are burying the seeds, but the cool thing that happens when they put the seeds underground is it prevents the insects from getting it.
The tree loves the agouti when it buries its seeds out of reach of the insects. The tree hates the agouti when it comes back and eats the seeds before they've had a chance to grow. Like any marriage, it's a complicated relationship. To find out how many seeds survive for long enough to germinate, Ben fits them with tiny radio transmitters and pink flagging tape so he can monitor them even after they've been buried. And to establish which agouti are actually taking the seeds, he radio collars them too, and spies on them with remote cameras. What he's discovered is that buried seeds rarely stay buried for long.
What we found is that agoutis are thieves. They walk around, they sniff the ground, and when they smell a seed that somebody else buried, they steal it. We had one seed that moved 36 different times.
Every time the seed is dug up, it runs the risk of being eaten by the agouti. So how do any palm seeds survive long enough to grow? The answer may lie in what else the camera traps trapped. Ocelots. Distant relatives of the cats in your living room, they're the most common predators on BCI, and their favorite food, agouti. To catch them, ocelots hunt in places they know agouti are common, around palm trees, buried seeds, and the agouti's den. For Ben, this leads to an interesting possibility. It might not just be the agouti who help the trees survive. It might in fact be the ocelots.
Agoutis regularly get eaten by ocelots. So if the agouti buries a seed and then it gets eaten by an ocelot, the agouti is dead and it can't come back and eat the seed. do ocelots drive tree reproduction?
It's an interesting possibility. It could be that the seeds buried by agoutis that are killed by ocelots survive to grow into new palms. And the astracarium tree may be complicit in this, because they don't drop their seeds at random. They shed them in the few hours shortly after midnight, when ocelots are mostly on the prowl. It's speculation, but just when we thought that the trees were using the agouti to spread their seeds, it turns out they might be trying to have them killed too, hiring ocelot assassins once the agouti burial service is done. But the plant's role in running this place goes more than just manipulating the animals. They can even manipulate the weather. As their name suggests, more rain falls in tropical rainforests than almost anywhere. And Panama is no exception, with averages over 2 meters a year and showers almost every day. These can be some of the wettest places on Earth. Most of this water drips down to the forest floor, picking up nutrients and minerals on its way, before being sucked up by the roots and returned to the canopy. The tallest trees can pump up hundreds of gallons of water on a hot day. And close to 99% of this water returns to the air as vapor, evaporating through the leaves. As humidity nears 100%, the vapor collates to form droplets. Droplets collide, mist forms fog. Fog forms clouds. And as the clouds rise in the afternoon heat, they make more rain. The result? Rain falling in a predictable, regular pattern. It's a common process, but rainforest trees breathe so much water back into the air that they're one of the most important things controlling the climate here. They're working a way to make the conditions just right for their own survival. Conditions that are ideal for some of the rainforest's more colorful inhabitants too. The rainforests of Panama are among the best places in the world to find frogs. Yet frogs are facing a mortal enemy. In the last 25 years, scientists all over the planet have documented species after species going extinct. The cause? A fungal disease known as chytrid.